Hey coaches! So today it's an absolutely beautiful day here in Ohio, so I'm doing my power hour outside, and today I wanted to make a video to help new coaches put together their story, because that's a big part of why people are successful, because we share our stories. We are not trying to sell products to people. We are trying to help them understand that we were in very similar shoes as they were, and this is what we did, and these are the results we had, and we found something that worked. And it's important to relate that, and so the best way to do that is to share your story, and that's a very crucial part of being a successful coach. So I wanted to take the time today to do a short video just to go over 4 points of how to tell your story. And by doing that, I'm actually going to tell my story, so you can kind of use that as a comparison for putting your story together. So the first point that you make sure that you want to communicate to others is, how did you feel before you started a challenge group? So for me, I had just had my second son. I was overweight. I barely shed a pound after he was born. I lost like the initial 10 pounds of him coming out, and that was about it. And I had the mentality for a long time that, well, it took 9 months to put the weight on, it'll take 9 months to get it off. And after 9 months and after a year, it still was not off. And so that is where I struggled and started to really feel like the fat friend. I felt I was bigger than all my other friends, so in pictures I would hide in the back and you would see my face, and that was about it. I started believing that I couldn't lose weight, that I was sacrificing my body basically for having kids, and I was disappointed in myself that I couldn't keep up with the kids at the playground. I just felt miserable. I was out of breath. I knew I was overweight. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. Those are all things to relate to other people on how they might feel. So I really relate well to people who've had kids. We have that understanding between each other. So make sure you are communicating how you felt before you tried this. And, even if you don't have kids, or even if you weren't overweight when you first started, talk about, what might have driven you to want to find something better, like you wanted to find something that was easier to do at home or whatever. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you communicate how you felt before you started your challenge group. The second thing you want to communicate is what attracted you, or what helped you decide to join a challenge group. And for me, it was actually funny. I was watching this girl who we both seemed to be trying to lose weight, and I was doing workout videos online that I had found a website that for a pretty cheap amount of money every month you would get workouts from them, and she seemed to be doing the exact same thing. So I started Facebook stalking her to kind of see what she was doing so I could get a clear idea of it. And I finally had to reach out to her and ask her, and that is when she introduced me to the 21-day fix. And what appealed to me was that it had a lot to do with portion control, because I was pretty sure I was eating healthy. I knew that eggs were good for you and veggies were good for you and hummus was good for you. I knew that kind of stuff. What I did not know was that it really is based on how much of it you're giving yourself every day. So I was really interested in the portion control. I was really interested in the fact that I didn't need to cut down my calories. I actually needed to increase my calories for me to lose weight. That appealed to me, and that is what I really liked about the 21-day fix. So the second one again is what attracted you, or why did you decide to join the challenge group? The third thing that you want to communicate is, what was your experience like? So when I joined this challenge group, I was impressed that I had about 15 other ladies who were all doing similar programs. We were not all doing 21-day fix, but we were all doing workout programs. I liked the fact that I could check in on Facebook when it was convenient for me. I wasn't the first person to get up and post a sweaty selfie, but by 9 o'clock or so I was posting, and I liked the fact that if I didn't post for a day, my coach was checking in on me and seeing how I was doing. I liked that accountability. I also liked the fact that they were sharing recipes with me, and they were taking the time to help me plan out My meal plan for the week, that was important to me, that I could send my meal plan to my coach and she looked it over and sent it back and said, you're set. You have exactly what you need to be doing. So that was important too. I like the fact that weekly we checked in on each other. So I could see, I lost 5 pounds the first week and other women were losing similar. So I was on the same pace as them, and that was great. That was good to know that I wasn't, losing less or I wasn't losing more. We were similar across the board, so I could relate to these other women. And then the fourth thing is, what were your results? So I think this is kind of obvious, but you want to make sure you're talking about, it's not just about the weight loss, because not everybody's going to lose weight. Some people lose inches, some people lose weight, some people actually need to gain some weight. It just depends on where people are. So you want to make sure that you're not just communicating your weight loss. You want to communicate, how you felt overall. So even though, yes, I did lose 10 pounds after 21 days, it had so much more to do with, I had so much more energy. I felt so much better. I was sleeping better. I was amazed at the fact of how much food I had to eat, but now I had a really good idea of how much food my body needed actually every day. And it wasn't about starving myself to lose weight. It was about giving my body the nutrients it actually needed. And that's what people want to hear, because people are going to have different results. But when they see that it's not just about weight loss, it's about learning what to give your body and sleeping better at night and overall feeling better, those are important things too. So you don't want to decrease the value on that. So those are the 4 items that I think are very important when you are trying to compose your story. Always feel free that if you want to do a draft of your story and then send it to your upline coach to review, always know that is okay. We will be more than happy to review it with you and give you some pointers. But the important thing is, don't look at someone else's story and copy it. Dig deep and find out, what appealed to you, what made the difference for you, because that is what people want to hear. People relate to each other differently. People who relate to me are not going to relate to my coaches the same way. And that is why this business works, because there's so many coaches out there who are doing this, but people relate to different people. And that's perfectly fine. Someone might not relate to my story. Maybe a businesswoman who doesn't have a family, she might not relate to my story, but she might relate to one of my coaches who's in a similar situation. So it's important to make sure that you are not copying other people's work, but you are taking the time to really share your story. So I hope that is helpful. I can't wait to see what you guys write. Have a great day, guys.